welcome back, my young Padawans, to Plus the Maarva Force, episode 11 of Andor. What a touching episode, even it was a bunch of Chinese whispers with Maarva's passing. Oh, should we just jump straight into that? Because, oh, Maarva, she's gone. Oh, it's such a real shame, because I really did love Maarva. I thought it was a really, really good, well, outspoken character, no-nonsense kind of person, and I would have loved to have maybe seen, possibly maybe in season 2, would have loved to see someone where she actually just really just stuck it to the Empire, actually stood up to them, but alas, we're not going to get to see that, because she's dead. We were wondering, now, I can't remember which episode it was she was in. It was not long after Cassian and her had that final, moment together. We did wonder, we did get a moment, I can't remember if it was episode 7 or was it 8, where Bix was with Maarva, and you could really tell from Maarva's speaking that it was kind of, a bit raspy because she was kind of struggling, and we kind of wondered, is she going to make it any much longer? But unfortunately, so Maarva's dead, and Ferrix is, of course, now preparing for a funeral, which, surprisingly, Deidre's allowed, because what I really loved in that scene when Deidre's being told about it was how, they're like, they're going to, request a poem into this and this and that, but we're not going to grant it, But of course, we love to see him try and beg. Deidre's like, no, they can have the funeral. I'm like, whoa, okay. That swiftly, is it? Wow, okay, I think that would have taken it almost off guard. But in case anybody's thinking that Deidre has got a little bit of empathy in her, no, come on. We should all learn by that. Deidre's a ruthless, cold-hearted bitch, and I'm loving her for it. No, there is an ulterior motive in this episode, but it wasn't until Khan and Mosk had their little video call that the ulterior motive's there. So I'll do it. So I'll say we get to Mosk. But no. So don't you all be thinking that Deidre's gone soft on us now, because she's not. There is an ulterior motive, but you don't really realise what the ulterior motive is until we get to Khan and Mosk. Interesting, we saw Mosk again. I thought he was all done and dusted after episode 3. But no, he's back. So there's an ulterior motive behind that, but it's not until later on episode that you broke it out. I can't remember, did I work out beforehand or not? Poor Maarva. And what I felt was really, really, really nice was how poor PTM80, he was really taking it really, really hard. And I loved that. Because what I loved about that is that it was showing that droids have feelings too. They may be robots, they may have wires and circuitry, but they do have feelings too. Pixar's proved it several times with Wall-E and other various films. Like, animals have feelings too and personalities, but I just looked at I don't really feel poor PTM80. He's a lost soul now. He's a lost puppy. What's he gonna do without Maarva? But I just loved seeing those moments with PTM80 because I've already loved him from the get-go, but this would have made me, if I didn't really love him, this would have made me love him. The poor thing. Poor thing. Poor PTM80. He's lost his grief. Poor thing. Anyway, so the word about Maarva's death, it really becomes like a game of Chinese whispers, because literally it keeps bouncing from one side of the galaxy to the other, and there's almost everybody kind of knows about except Cassian, who, as we see, is a bit busy at the moment, trying to get his way off Narkina 5, because obviously he now has officially escaped that at the prison. He just needs to get off the planet. But yeah, so we'll do in order who found out first. So we'll go with Belle and Sergeant Mafia first. So Belle, well, she tries to go and visit Rail in his shop, but he's not there. So has to tell the assistant about Maarva's death in the hope that she'll pass it on to Rail. And then Belle goes to see her cousin, Sergeant Mafia. Oh, Sergeant Mafia. This week, she proves to be a true politician. She's got no morals. Right. So you remember last week how Sergeant Mafia refused to use her get out of jail card because it would mean she would have to marry off her daughter? Well, and I loved how last week she said it was like, I am not going to turn around it. Decision made. And here we are, one episode later. Like, ooh, maybe. Look how my look how my daughter's getting involved in all these group gatherings, and look how she's getting involved in those cultures and those traditions. Isn't it lovely? Well, you think it would be lovely, wouldn't it? You think it would be lovely if your daughter, or in my case, my niece, you'd be thrilled if they were getting involved in, your family's customs and traditions. But as we know what that entails for Mafia's daughter, not so much. Because it does mean she's gonna get into an arranged marriage. Now, I did love how they did try to show that Mafia's not feeling great about it, but Belle was actually the more convincing, and she's the auntie. Hope I'm not going to be like what Belle is. But though she showed more concern for any niece than her own cousin did, she said, and that's her daughter. Honestly, I thought Belle was the more, oh, please tell me you're not going to do what I think you're going to do. All I was like, please tell me you're not considering proposals. Please, no. And then, of course, Belle has to listen to what stupid things her cousin's done. What stupid handlings with money her cousin's done. All to help the cause and Rail, and what trouble it's got her all in. Oh, but no, yeah. So it was an interesting scene where we were seeing both Sergeant Mafia and Belle. We were seeing them watching Sergeant Mafia's daughter, whose name I have forgotten. It was interesting to see them watching her sort of get involved with all these customs and everything. It looked like she was actually enjoying it, but at the same time, the two ladies, the two grown-ups in the room, or should be grown-ups, let's face it, one of them's a corrupt and no good politician, and the other's a raving lesbian. No wonder Sergeant Mafia's daughter wants to get involved in order to beat all the old customs. Because let's face it, Mummy and Auntie are just all big quivering wrecks. But no, I kind of felt, I was like Belle, I was like, really? I was like, go Belle. But, you got me up in Belle this week, but then again, I kind of probably would be in that position as the concerned auntie, well, in my case, uncle. No, go on, Belle. Go for it. But I love how Belle's element, as soon as the kid comes in the room, it's like, oh, you! Lovely to see you! How you doing? Yeah, that pretends it's like, yeah. But when the camera just cuts back to the Mafia, just with this sort of, I don't know, this resting bitch face. It's supposed to look like conflicted, but come on, Mafia. We all know you're conflicted. You're gonna do it because you're a politician. As we all know, politicians have got no morals. No. Not going there. We're not going there. But yeah. So they find out. That's what gets to first. Then Maarva's death gets relayed to Khan, who, oh, I can't believe we saw back again, still living at home with his mother. He then gets a video call from Mosk. Now, if you remember, Mosk was, we met all the way back in the first block, so in that 3-episode premiere. Still can't believe they did the first 3 episodes all on one day. Still can't believe that. Don't do that for season 2. Okay? Stop. Disney Plus, if you're listening to this, don't do that for season 2. Whenever season 2 is coming, don't do that. That was too much. As you saw, we couldn't keep up. No, if you remember, Moss was back in the first block, so the first block of 3. And I thought, well, after episode 3, you thought he was done. We do need to see him again. Like with Khan's boss. We've not seen him again since what happened in episode 3. No, but Moss does this video conference call in a place where it looks like it's in the Antarctic, because the skittle kept sort of being like, going for a tunnel. Despite the fact it was a conference call, we could actually see Moss. It was quite funny. See, literally, Khan's like, what? You're breaking up. Can't hear ya! But Moss reveals to Khan about Maarva being dead. The feud was going to happen on Ferrix, and so Khan decides, right, he is going to head to Ferrix himself in the hopes that he can capture Cassian. And from that now kind of sets up, that's why Dee's designed the Feral. Alright? So there you go. So you have to wait until Khan's found out by Moss to understand why Deidre is allowing this funeral to go ahead. It's so that, and you remember back in the episode where we met Dr. Gorst and we had those awful torch that he's put on Bix, when Deidre was doing a report to the ISB, they did ask, why are you not doing it to torturing the mother? And Deidre, of course, by about saying, well, A, she's too frail and old, won't last long, and B, she's bait. Alright, remember that? Remember that Maarva's being in the eyes of Deidre was bait to get Cassian back to Ferrix? Well, here we go. So Deidre's hoping the funeral is going to lure Cassian back onto Ferrix, and so they can get him. Whether it's Deidre or whether it's Khan, the ISB can then get him and nab him. And probably tell them who about Rael. Speaking of Rael, so he goes back to see Saul Guerrier, who you remember from Rogue One, who made an appearance. Oh my god, there's so much memory testing on this week's show. I just could not cope with it. You know, we're almost at the end now. And I felt this episode, while it was kind of slow and sort of moving and touching, you know, very respectful to Maarva of it. There was a lot of test your memory, wasn't a lot of test your memory in this episode. Yeah, but you saw Gary earlier the season where Rael was trying to get him to go on his side and be involved with what he was doing. So Gary said no. Apparently, Gary has now had a change of heart and has decided on the very, very, very last moment to insist in Krieger's attacks. But as we all know, the ISB are aware of this pending assault thanks to Rael's spy. And Rael tries to advise him against this. So basically just to let Krieger fall. And so eventually, I think again, Gary has better judgment. He just is like, okay, fine, we'll let Krieger go down. They could have Krieger as long as we stay alive and can fight the good fight. Yeah. I thought that scene was a bit sort of pathetic because we kind of know Gary is not going anywhere. You know, it's like with Cassian. You know he's not gonna die or get badly wounded in this series because we know he's there. They're there come the start of Rogue One. So I felt this scene, it was a bit pathetic. Although it did show that Rael was being a bit more self-indulgent than he should be. And really, Gara is seeing exactly what I'm seeing. You know, Rael, you're just put up yourself. And I love how Gara thought, you could be ISB for a while. I was like, well, go on, sir, Gara, go for you. Good man. Question the the bastard in black. Go on. Sorry. I'm afraid that. Go on you for questioning the bastard wearing black robes. Because I've been saying it, Rael, if you're going to dress up in black, people are going to start thinking you're part of the Empire. Did Luthern not get the dress code? Anything other than black, you are technically on the light side. In black, you're accused of being part of the Empire or a Sith Lord. Didn't get that, did you? No. So yeah, so go on, Sorgaria. You go question Luthern. You question him. Yes, could be because I think Garia has worked out there is a spy in the ISB. He's just not managed to put 2 and 2 together yet. He's not like ISB where they can do that really. But yeah. So Garia eventually, against his better judgment, does agree. Right, they can have Krieger as long as we stay alive and kick him. So Luthern heads back, and what I loved is how in this episode is how Luthern finally gets a run-in with the Imperial forces, because we need to remember nobody is untouchable in compared to the Empire at this stage of the timeline. Only the Empire is supposed to be untouchable. And Luthern in the last few weeks has done a lot of things that made me not really like him. Made me start being a bit self-indulgent, a bit selfish. He cares about himself. He started to feel like he's getting a little bit untouchable. So what I loved, what we got towards the end of the episode, when Luthern was trying to make his way back, I loved how he had that little run-in with an Imperial patrol, and I loved how they were closing him in and literally trying to get his ship brought in. And I was loving how, they were trying to, it was a real test to Luthern to see, right, here you are, you're in the line of fire for a change, not anybody else, not where you bought, your pets, you're in the line of fire. Can you be quick solving? Can you be problem solving? Can you get out of a situation like this? And survive? Well, it took a bit of a while, but eventually he did manage to get away, so well done him, but woo! Didn't he had a lucky escape? And to be honest, I wouldn't mind if he actually got caught by the Imperial forces. Wouldn't mind it. They found the Axis. Oh dear. Under their nose. Yeah, but I felt that scene was really, really important. Just to reiterate that, even Luthern, even though he's been behaving like he's untouchable, even he, at this stage of the timeline, is not untouchable one bit. So, eventually the Choice Whispers finally stops with ends with Cassian, as he and Mellish, they obviously spend the episode trying to get away from the King of Fire, which they eventually do, and they travel to Namos to basically recover Cassian's belongings, and that is when Cassian is able to, finally learns the truth and is told about what happened to Maarva. And so Cassian and Mellish, they then part ways, with Mellish kind of hoping it's to publicly expose the Empire's unjust prison system, because actually it's Mellish the one who decides, after Cassian's been told what's happened. It doesn't tell Mellish what's happened, it just goes, yeah, it's fine. And Mellish is like, right, okay, well I think you and me, we kind of need to split up, because somebody, whether it's you, whether it's me, somebody has got to be alive and kicking to tell people what has been going on in Narkina 5. And that is kind of what Lesh is thinking. But at the back of my head, when I was watching that bit, I thought, yeah, Cassian's not going to do that. He's going to go and head off to Ferrix. Because you would think with Melish's plan, yeah, it sounds like a great plan, it sounds like something you should do, and would be a real big knock to the Empire. But at the same time, thinking, well, Mellish, if you want a job doing, you're going to have to do it yourself, mate, because Cassian's preoccupied. Mellish doesn't realise it, because Cassian didn't tell him. What I love to say, Mellish's like, yeah, okay, you me, we're in the scale, we've got to literally tell people what happened, alright? But yeah. But while Mellish was out of the park, upon me, the back of my head just thought, Cassian's not going to do that. He's going to go back to Ferrix. And so obviously you end the episode with obviously both of them having gone their separate ways, and you're left wondering, right, what is Cassian going to do now? Well, I think I've cracked it. Because even though Cassian is technically wanted by the ISB, and there are several parties that want to capture Cassian, you've got, let's do a recap before you, just in case that is what comes in the finale. You've got Deidre, who wants him, so the ISB can find out who the Axis is, which is what they've nicknamed Luthern as. You've got Khan, who wants him, so that Khan can avenge what happened in the first episode and also grow a bit of manhood. And then you've got Luthern who wants him, but that is so that Luthern can find out from Cassian, have you told anyone about me or not? So you've got three parties who all want to seek and locate Cassian and also apprehend Cassian. You've got two from the Empire and one on the rebel side. And the question is, which, or if any, will get to him? That would be the question heading into the finale. But I generally think, in the finale, I generally think Cassian is going to go back to Ferrix. Because you will, won't you? Even if you are a wanted criminal, well, even if you are sort of wanted by the Empire, you kind of still would go back, wouldn't you? So I think Cassian is going to go back. He's going to literally risk everything. He'll go back to Ferrix to attend the funeral, but I've got a feeling he's not going to have an easy time, because obviously, you know, he's going to be literally having to watch his shoulder again. Although, as we saw, he didn't do a good job of that the first time, did he? Because that's what he got captured, wasn't it? It's like doing all this. It's all attracted someone's attention, didn't it? Hopefully he's learned how to do that while being inside prison. But yeah. But I could just see in next week's finale with Cassia, I could just see him, rather than trying to do what Mersh want, which is that they both go and spread the word about what happened on Kingdom 5, I could easily see Cassian going back home, going back to barracks, and trying to, trying to attend the funeral, whilst trying to play catcher from the party that want him caught, whether they are friend or foe. We shall see. See. So yeah, but yes, it all seems all head to Ferrix. For next week's episode, we've got Khan's headed there. Deidre will obviously head there. I would imagine Belle is going to head there, because obviously we know Cinta's there, so those who might try and sort of get back together and sort of recouple up and be all lesbian together. Got them there. And probably Luthern might go as well, because Belle did tell his assistant to pass that message on to him, and whilst she didn't get to do it in the episode, it would not surprise me if Luthern eventually passes it out and heads there. So it looks like all the big players are going to be heading for Ferrix for this funeral. I hope it's going to be a respectable funeral for Maarva, because she was a brilliant character. The last one we needed this conflict happen during a funeral. Can it not be? Come on, we need to make it respectful and peaceful. But I've got this kind of feeling that all the main characters are all the key players next week are gonna be on Ferrix, and this funeral is not gonna be peaceful or respectful. It would be, but yeah, it'd be interesting. And then, of course, it'll be interesting to see where the finale is going to end up, because I imagine we'll be waiting quite a bit before we get season 2. So hopefully the finale next week will end on a good point to sort of get us anticipating next season. Also to leave us on a good note, so we're not thinking, oh, what's going to happen now? But yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting finale next week. And we'll see how it all goes down. So, thank you so much for joining me as always, my dear. If you've loved the show, do click the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, carry out to click the subscribe button. That way, once you are subscribed, you know, missing when you content come out of plus the Mars. Make sure to ring the bell so do always content. And if you want to know my YouTube handle, it is George Hand. Until next time, also, if you say, may the force with you and au revoir.